life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk a little bit more about the Republican House rep from Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and her fallout with President Donald Trump. Now, I've already done my videos disavowing her and showing how ridiculous this whole fight is, but she is not stopping. She went on CNN and did an interview, and it was a complete dumpster fire. It was a mess. I mean, look, if this is a preview of her future political aspirations, because she might want to become the president in 2028. She might want to run for governor or senator in Georgia. If this is a preview of that, good grief. She did not do well at all. She sounded just like an AOC or a Kamala. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean her politics. That's part of it. But when I say that, I'm talking about how she was speaking. She is not a very good speaker, not quicker on her feet. She can barely read a teleprompter, but then when you're asking her a question in real time, it's a bunch of stuttering, and it was really a mess. Okay, now before I get into that interview, I want to back up a little bit here and go to a CNN video from our guy Scott Jennings. He's going to explain, in his humble opinion, and in my opinion as well, why this whole thing started.
Technically true, based on what I've heard and what I know, that he didn't tell her not to run, but what she didn't say was that he sent her a poll privately.
Now he's talking about Trump. Trump sent Marjorie a poll when she was trying to get his endorsement to run for senator or governor in Georgia.
Discreetly, and it had information in it, and it showed her down 20 points to John Ossoff. And so in politics, when you want to send a message to someone that you like or that has been an ally, you don't embarrass them publicly. You privately send them information and show them what the reality is. And so I think it's true that he didn't tell her not to run, but it's also true that he did her a big favor, which is to show her information that a candidacy statewide in Georgia for her would have been a disaster.
Congress.
Exactly. Now, before we continue, if you're a House rep, it's not as serious as being a senator, and it's most certainly not as serious as being the governor. Being the governor is like being the president of your state. And being a senator is only 100 of those in the country compared to 400 and some House reps. So it's a much more serious position. Where she's at as a House rep, going out there and voting for the MAGA agenda, great. But trying to get above that, trying to do more, that's not for her. For someone else, maybe, but not for her. Let's continue. Now, here is Marjorie responding to that allegation that she was instructed, told, suggested, whatever, by President Trump to not run for Senate or governor in Georgia. Let's watch.
The president said the reason that you have been critical of him is not necessarily Epstein, but because he pushed you not to run for the Senate or for governor in Georgia. How and when did he do that?
Well, that is absolutely not true. Actually, I never had a conversation at all with the president about running for Senate or running for Georgia.
Pause. What Scott Jennings just said is that President Trump sent you a poll. And actually, what I read a little bit further was that someone from his staff sent you the poll, and you knew what the poll meant. If it came from Trump and or Trump's people, you knew that that meant he did not want you to run. So you may be telling the truth that he didn't talk to you about it, but he doesn't have to if he sends you a message that says you shouldn't do it or that alludes to you not doing it. See, you already playing with words. You're a liar. And one thing that we don't like in politicians, and that's universal, are liars.
And those were decisions I came to on my own that I don't want to have anything to do with the Senate. I think the past 2 months of the government shutdown should have shown America exactly why I would never want to be there. I think it's a very broken institution that serves the uniparty and doesn't serve the American people and how they vote. And I decided that I didn't want to run for governor this cycle either. I very much want to do the job that I'm in. Everyone else says I'm running for something, but all I want to do is serve Georgia's 14th district And I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
But you're lying. She's lying. She's lying. And it really, the only way I can make this make sense is that she is a woman scorned on a hate campaign against Trump because her feelings got hurt. And you don't want someone like that to have their finger on the button or to have any more importance than what they already do as a House rep.
So he said it pretty explicitly. Are you saying he's lying, or did he at least get that message to somebody on your political team instead?
Now, let's see if she's going to call Trump a liar. Do you think she will? Anybody want to place any bets?
I'm not sure.
Exactly. See, and you know what? People, they can kind of tell what's going on here. All right, the average person is not as dumb as what many think.
But that is untrue, what he said. I don't know if he's being fed wrong information. I honestly have no idea in that area, but it is absolutely factually not true. Nor have I called him, and White House logs would prove that. His own cell phone records would prove it. I have not been calling the president, but I did post messages that I had sent to him, and that was to, like, protect, get involved. This is important. The American people want the Epstein files released.
Okay, so that's that. Now, let's keep going here. Now, this is about the whole Nick Fuentes thing, okay, because there's a connection there, I suppose. Now, what I read is that during that 2023 dinner that Trump had at Mar-a-Lago or whatever that was with Milo and Kanye, when Nick came, that she was involved with that, and her campaign manager bought a domain that said Yay24. So it looked like back then she was trying to set Kanye up to run for president in 2024. Now, again, I don't know what kind of moron you got to be to think that will actually work. But let's continue.
She spoke at my conference, and then the day after, she pretended like she didn't know me. She pretended like she didn't know me and lied and said I had no idea the conference I was speaking at. She knew exactly what it was.
Now, she spoke at Nick Fuentes' conference. What's that? America First or whatever it is. She spoke there. So if you speak at a conference, you know full well where you're at. I've gone to speaking engagements before. I know exactly where I am. I don't just accept a speaking engagement and have no idea where I'm at, who I'm talking to. I'm going to ask that question. Who are these people? What's going on? Because I don't want to speak at a place that's against what I'm about. I want to be safe, and I want to make sure it makes sense. And if she didn't do that due diligence, what does that say about her ability to lead as a senator, governor, or president, let alone a House rep?
What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, I defend every single person's free speech rights. I think that's incredibly important. So I don't apologize for that. And I don't believe in canceling people. And I think it's important for people like Tucker Carlson and yourself to interview everyone. I don't believe in trying to cancel someone by refusing to interview them and question them. And I did speak at his conference back in 2022. However, I don't know Nick Fuentes. He's someone I've never exchanged text messages with.
Hey, I spoke at his conference. This relatively unknown guy, not a big, super important, but I spoke at his conference. I don't know who he is. Okay. Hey, do y'all believe that?
Or phone calls, but I did speak at his conference. That was the first time I had met him that day, and that was it. But I did watch the interview. I watched the full interview with Tucker, and I admire him for.
So I spoke at Nick Fuentes' conference. I watched the whole interview with Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, but I have no idea who Nick Fuentes is. Okay, you're a liar. I don't like people that lie. That's one thing about it. Look, I don't got to agree with you. I can totally disagree with you, but don't tell me a lie straight in my face. I don't like that. You're insulting my intelligence, and that's one thing that I'm not really a fan of.
Interviewing many people as well as exposing a lot of powerful information.
I hear what you're saying.
He does on his show.
I hear what you're saying about free speech. I mean, count me as guilty as a proponent of free speech. There's free speech, and then there is hate speech. And this is a man invited on a really prominent conservative show, who said even during that interview he had a problem with, quote, organized Jewry, and he wasn't challenged on it. In the past, he has denied the Holocaust, called Adolf Hitler effing cool, talked about the fact that he thought Jim Crow was just fine, and on and on. So again, there's free speech, and then there's just hateful language and sentiments.
If she tries to run for governor or anything like that, if she tries to run for any higher office, all they're going to do is just throw all of that out there on her, and she can't really say too much about it. What's she going to say? Yeah, it's okay.
Well, Dana, again, I told you on this interview that I'm committed to ending the toxic politics, and I think I don't want to have anything to do with it. You should have Nick Fuentes on your show, and you could ask him questions about that. I myself am.
Okay, so that's that. All right, that's that. Let's keep going here. Oh, and then you got a little bit of evidence right here. Okay, Greene for Congress paid for Yay24.com. Okay, that's the documentation right here. I'll link to it in the box so you can see it for yourself. I'm not making this stuff up. And this was in 2022, right when that dinner happened. Why would she do that? Is it because you're trying to get Trump out of the way to have Kanye run rather than Trump? Why would you do that? Is it because Trump ran on deporting illegal aliens who comprise most of your workforce as a general contractor? Is that what's going on? And maybe Kanye doesn't want to do that? But you dumb to think that Kanye had a chance at all. Anyway, now she's apologizing. I'm so sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. I am so sorry. The left don't do that. The left said, yeah, Charlie Kirk deserved to die. And so what? He dead. Ha ha. Nobody apologized for that at all. But here she is apologizing for taking part in toxic politics, trying to apologize for conservatives and our behavior. Okay.
I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country. And it's been something I've thought about a lot, especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, is that I'm only responsible for myself and my own words and actions. And I am committed, and I've been working on this a lot lately, to put down the knives in politics. I really just want to see people be kind to one another, and we need to figure out a new path forward that is focused on the American people, because as Americans, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, we have far more in common than we have differences. Yeah. And we need to be able to respect each other with our disagreements.
Hey, put the knives down. But whenever I get a chance, I'm going to go on TV and say Orange Man bad. I mean, maybe I am misinterpreting what she's saying. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all let me know in the comments if I'm correct or incorrect, okay?
Okay.
Now, here we go with the whole Epstein thing. I might not be able to play all of this, but I'll link to all of it in the box so you can see it and hear it without my commentary. Check it out.
Okay, so on that, I do want to ask you about something you posted just yesterday on X. You questioned who and what country is putting so much pressure on Trump to keep the Epstein files hidden. And you included a picture about donations from pro-Israel lobbying group AIPAC. What are you trying to say there?
Obviously, he's talking about Israel. That's the obvious thing right here. And Marjorie, you said that it's okay to speak at Nick Fuentes' conference because you don't believe in stifling free speech and everybody's got to hear what you got to say. Okay. Marjorie, have you spoken at AIPAC or any kind of Jewish thing? Have you done that? You believe in freedom of speech, right? So let's just, get down to the bottom of that. Let's keep going.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's the question that many Americans are asking, especially when we saw information recently come out in these emails that the Oversight Committee that I serve on has released. And we saw Jeffrey Epstein with ties to Ehud Barak. We saw him making business deals with them, also business deals that involved the Israeli government, and seems to have led into their intel agencies. And I think the right question is to ask is, was Jeffrey Epstein working for Israel? And I'm proud to say I don't take money from AIPAC. I don't take money from any special group of people. I'm just representing my district and the American people. And so that's what I was referring to.
Hey, I don't take money from AIPAC. I don't take any AIPAC money, no Israeli money. But what I do is use illegal aliens from Central America in my construction business. And what I am going to do is go on TV and say that Trump is wrong for deporting illegal aliens because he's impacting my workforce. Okay, let's keep going.
I just want to be clear. Are you saying Israel is pushing the president of the United States to cover up the Epstein files? And what evidence do you have that that is the case?
I simply just asked out loud, is there a foreign government? It could be any foreign government.
Marjorie, see, there go the lying again. Why? Why lie? Just say what you got to say. I would respect you a lot more if you just came out and said what you got to say. Come on, man. We're not dumb. You posted this graphic. Let's go back to the graphic. You said this and the Epstein files is why I'm being attacked by President Trump. It really makes you wonder what is in those files and who and what country is putting so much pressure on him. I forgive him and I will pray for him to return to his original mega promises. And you see what she posted right next to it. Okay. $0 received from AIPAC. No money from AIPAC. Okay. Liberty score. I've not done anything with the Jays, nothing with AIPAC. But then you get on TV and say, I don't know what country I'm talking about. Just any country. This is who y'all want to.
Foreign government. But is a foreign government pushing to keep this covered up? Because people just don't understand the big fight against.
Well, you had AIPAC up there. It was pretty clear which government you were talking about.
Exactly.
That I'm questioning that government in particular and questioning any other foreign government.
All right, so that's that. I will link to everything in the box so you're able to see it there, read it there, hear it there without my commentary. But as I close, I want to say this. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't really get it. You're trying to be some kind of Trojan horse figure. I don't understand what's going on, but enough's enough. You're in the way, okay? Conservatives, we're on one page. You are on your own page. You're not going to succeed this way. The support you get online from fringe figures will not be enough to carry you over in the real world, which is why you're 20 points behind Jon Ossoff in Georgia, a place that's a red state. That's why, because your constituents in your district, your people in Georgia as a whole, see you for who you are. A soccer mom that got in way over her head and now needs to just leave politics, in my humble opinion. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about Marjorie Taylor Greene's CNN interview? Was it a good interview? Was it a bad interview? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I mean, she's ridiculous. It's time. It's time to go. What Trump said from the very beginning, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that was right on point. 100% on point. It's time to stop. And you know what? She can be redeemed, just like Elon, because for a while, Elon was acting the fool as well when Trump did not give him his way, when he could not have unfettered access to Trump. But now he's in a better place. Okay, he's kind of redeemed himself. She has the ability to do the same thing, but you got to just stop what you're doing right now and go back the other direction. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.